Forgiveness, much like these balloons, can take many forms. Sometimes it's about releasing a situation or person, letting the hurt float away like a helium balloon, freeing ourselves from the weight of holding on. But other times, forgiveness is a bit more energetic. It takes a lot of effort, like blowing up this balloon. You put energy into it, and when you finally let it go, it doesn't float away gracefully. It flies around chaotic, bumping into things. Have you ever noticed how something can start out like this, right? But just with something added can make it lighter. This is just what it is. But essentially we're adding something that can lift and float, make it weightless.
Yeah.
It's just it might be like one of my my intellectual self-talks, how when you're just how does air float? But no, I just find that a lot like forgiveness, you add something extra into the mix on top of something that's already there, and it could easily make things a little bit more complicated, but it could also make things a little bit more clear and weightless. And so just thinking about the topic of forgiveness, I just think that there's a really interesting connection to the weightlessness when you add something else in the mix. Just a little thought. Welcome back to the Art of Creative Expression. Today, we're exploring the theme that is both delicate and transformative: forgiveness. Forgiveness is often thought of as a grand gesture, but sometimes it's more subtle. It's not always about having a dramatic moment of reconciliation. It's about releasing the energy we used to hold onto resentment. It's about letting go. And sometimes forgiveness is as simple as letting something float away, like this balloon, light, free, unburdened by the weight of what it was. My grandmother was someone who rarely had to practice forgiveness in the way most of us think of it. She had this incredible ability to never stay upset. Growing up, I rarely saw her hold on to any anger. Instead, she had a way of seeing the best in people, perhaps even fooling herself into believing things didn't bother her, even though they might have. But there was one moment that really stayed with me. One that showed me her approach to forgiveness wasn't about confrontation or a big emotional release. It was about shifting her focus and choosing where to place her energy. My grandmother had a best friend who, bless him, had a habit of bringing her favorite snacks only to eat them all before she even got a taste. Every time he'd come over, he'd arrive with bags full of her favorite things, snacks she couldn't often afford or find. But without fail, after hours of chatting and his signature loud singing, he'd finish off all the treats and fall asleep with crumbs all over him. One day, I came over from college and witnessed it firsthand. I walked into the room to find him snoring away with vanilla cream biscotti crumbs all over his chest. Those same biscottis my grandmother had been so excited about. I was furious. I asked her, "Did you get any?" And the usual response, completely unbothered, she didn't get any. When I asked her why she wasn't upset, she said something that I would never forget. You can't be upset with someone if you already expect them to behave a certain way. Might as well put your attention on something else and use that energy to do something more worth your while. She turned her attention to her favorite TV show, enjoying her time while her friends slept. That was her version of forgiveness, choosing not to waste her energy on frustration, but to focus on the good moments instead. Forgiveness, much like these balloons, can take many forms. Sometimes it's about releasing a situation or person, letting the hurt float away like a helium balloon, freeing ourselves from the weight of holding on. But other times, forgiveness is a bit more energetic. It takes a lot of effort, like blowing up this balloon. You put energy into it, and when you finally let it go, it doesn't float away gracefully. It flies around chaotic, bumping into things. Forgiveness can feel chaotic, messy, unpredictable. But when you finally let go, there's a sense of release. The key is understanding which form of forgiveness is needed in any given situation. In life, we can choose where to place our energy. We can hold on to frustration, or we can let it go, just as my grandmother did. Forgiveness isn't about excusing behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of holding on to something that no longer serves you. In my own life, I've struggled with forgiveness, not because I didn't want to let go, but because I sometimes felt like letting go was too passive. I thought holding on to the hurt would protect me from, being hurt again. But as I learned from my grandmother, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing. It's about choosing where to focus your energy. It's about releasing the weight of resentment and allowing yourself to move forward. Each time we forgive, we allow ourselves to breathe a little easier, to float a little higher, and to live a little lighter. Forgiveness isn't about them, it's about you. It's about giving yourself the freedom to let go. So today, I invite you to take a moment. Think about what you're holding on to. Is it time to release? Is it time to let go of what no longer serves you and set yourself free? Much appreciation for spending this time with me today. Remember, be kind to yourself, and in the process, let go of anything weighing you down.